Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Jkun Presents. Well, it's been a day or so since I came back from Flawless Victory up in Northern Virginia, which was a Mortal Kombat tournament held by Mid-Atlantic Combat. And I gotta admit, I got my ass kicked in royal fashion. Like the type of beating that makes you sulk for a week afterwards. Now, the title of this video is The Drive to Keep Fighting, and that's exactly what I want to talk about. Flawless Victory was the third Mortal Kombat tournament that I've scrubbed out on. For those of you that don't understand what that term means, it means that when you compete and you lose your first fight, go to loser's bracket, and then lose your first fight in loser's bracket. So you lose twice and get eliminated in the very beginning of the tournament. Now, this isn't uncommon for someone starting out in the competitive circuit, but whether I just hold too high a bar for myself or just having a run of bad luck, this particular tournament left me pretty damn salty. The great thing about the fighting game community is that there's literally a treasure trove of knowledge to be had in order to level up your game, such as videos, forums, or even asking fellow fighters. You can start out at a tournament, lose, practice harder, go back to another tournament, and then win one, and then lose again, and then go back to another tournament, win two before you lose. So you get to see that type of progression in this community that you may not get to see in other types of groups. That's one of the reasons I love the fighting game community so much. If you show you're serious about getting better, people will come out of the woodwork to help you. And you can find tournaments all over the place if you know where to look, which leads me to the point of my video. When is the time to hang it up, and when is the time to try harder and keep fighting? Now, I am sure that everyone has had one of those moments where it seems no matter how hard they're training, practicing, and fighting, they don't feel like they're getting any better. And I guess that's how I'm feeling right now. Those of you that have been keeping up with my progress through either watching videos, watching my live stream, or training and fighting with me know that I have quite a few games that I'm training in. While most fighters that I know train in 2 or 3 games tops, I'm currently training in 7. I knew the hill I was going to be climbing taking on this kind of load was going to be steep, but I feel that maybe the hill is a little too steep. Now, all the games I train in, I love playing. Even if they do have their own little problems and glitches that need to be fixed, or is a game that the rest of the community seems to despise in the case of Street Fighter X Tekken. And while in Richmond, I do have ample opportunity to go to meetups, training sessions, and do training one-on-one with other people. Time and money is always a factor, and I can't always afford to come out, leaving me with the only available options to either train alone or fight online. And while some games like BlazBlue and Tekken can actually help your ability by fighting online, other games like Marvel and especially Mortal Kombat can actually hinder your progress fighting online when it comes time to fight in a tournament. Ask anyone who's been in the fighting game community for a while and they will more than likely tell you that if you want to get better, you gotta fight real people offline. And I couldn't agree with that more. As well as spend a generous amount of time in training mode getting your moves and combos down. But is this the only thing I need in my arsenal along with the 8 ways to improve that I posted previously? Or is there one more factor that may be overlooked by the younger players? Now, I am 28 years old and I turned 29 in August, and the most exposure I've gotten is on the local scene here in Richmond, Virginia. One of the people I interviewed back at the River City Bowl quoted that the age group that are really interested in fighting games and playing competitively in them is around the range of 16 to 32. Now, I have been serious about being competitive for about a year now, give or take, and the question I've been asking myself has been, have I missed my window to really move up in this field? Now, there are top players out there that are my age, like Viscant, the current Marvel vs. Capcom EVO champion, is 32, I believe. And other fighters like Flo, Marn, Justin Wong, Daigo, and Gutex are in their late 20s like I am. But the thing is that they're already at the top while I'm just starting out. Now, I have never been one to let age stop me from doing something I want to do, but this is a scene where it takes a lot of time to invest in order to make it to the top. So when I finally make it to the top, skill-wise, how long would I really have before I had to hang it up? Some of the older players like Alex Valley still compete from time to time, but have stepped aside in order to pursue a more coaching and tutorial role for the up-and-coming players, as well as hosting tournaments of his own, or at least being a part of bigger groups and companies that host tournaments. I know the age thing shouldn't bother me, but I guess everybody has at least one hang-up about doing something they love. And this is something I love. Hell, looking back at all the things I've tried to do, I've never wanted anything more. I've kicked myself in the ass more than once for not doing this sooner. This is something I've dreamed about for a long time, even back in the day when I was looking at the big-time tournaments in GamePro magazine. And while I am new to this, I knew this was something I was destined for when I won the Mortal Kombat tournament at ScrewAttack.com's Iron Man of Gaming. But I guess making this video was my way of venting about my doubts and hope for pursuing this trade. No matter what, I have to keep training. I have to keep fighting, and I have to keep trying harder when I lose and hope for better the next time around. Have any of you had a moment where you doubted your ability and wondered about whether or not you should choose something else? Leave your comments below and I promise I'll read every single one of them. Now, I've been streaming a lot lately, at combinations of full series runs and fighting game training on my stream channel, twitch.tv. And I've been doing it about virtually every night. Now, unfortunately, with me starting a new job, I won't be able to stream nearly as often as I was. And with Civil War, which is the next big tournament in Richmond, which also happens to be an EVO qualifier, I believe, if I do stream, it will probably be only fighting game stuff. Now, I did promise to do a 24-hour marathon stream by the end of the month, but I don't know if my up-and-coming schedule will allow it. But I do promise I will do my absolute best to make sure that it does happen as soon as possible. Also, if you want to check out Civil War, it will be at the Comfort Inn Midtown Conference Center in Richmond, Virginia. It's guaranteed to be a big event with a lot of the big-time players coming out to compete. And if I do believe, unless this has changed, Team Spooky, which is one of the top dogs in the streaming world, will be broadcasting live at the event for the people that can't be there in person. I'll also be there not only competing, but shooting video, taking pictures, and even an interview or two if I'm allowed. The games I'm going to be competing in will be, once again, Mortal Kombat, Soul Calibur 5, Tekken 6, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, BlazBlue Continuum Shift Extend, and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So as you can see, my plate's pretty full. Now lastly, with it being Sunday, as well as training, I will do a stream session tonight, where I'll finish Super Mario Bros. 1 and attempt to finish up Devil May Cry 2. But that should wrap up everything I wanted to say in this video. It's time to go back to the lab. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you all on the next video.